What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. We're going to be taking a look at a sweet ProTech side opening automatic here. This is the Rockeye. The Rockeye is nothing new. It's been out for a lot of years. In fact, I think I owned one years and years ago, a very standard version. This one is a little bit different though. It's got a little blingage going on, and in my opinion, just really fires this thing up. So let's talk about it. Rockeye from ProTech, collaboration with Les George. Right there, there's the Les George logo. And I know what you're thinking, what is that blue poking out there? And that is the star of the show. Let's just show it right now. I was gonna say, let's wait and talk about it. No, let's just do it right now. Rip those clothes right off. Let's take a look at this beauty, because this blade is really, really nice. It is amazing. S35 VN steel, duotone, satin flats, stone washed on the bevels there and on the swedge on the top. But the star is that blue color, and the reason I'm so blown away is I wasn't quite sure what this was going to look like. I saw it in pictures, and I went back and forth between thinking it's going to be too kind of blingy or too cheesy looking, or that it's not going to look good at all and it's going to be like a slight blue tinge. But when I got it, I was blown away. It looks really, really good. I'm assuming that this is a PVD, like a colored PVD, because I know you can do colored PVD. I heard it's a little bit difficult, so it's not done all that often. Usually when you see or hear about PVD coatings, it is black, but I'm thinking this is a blue. And PVD, by the way, is not actually a coating material. It's a process for coating. Physical vapor barrier, I believe, is what it stands for. So it's the process of coating the blade with some sort of media. But what's cool about it is it's done like in a vacuum chamber. And so the media actually goes and gets embedded within the material underneath. So that's why I think that's what this is. Because it's not like a paint. It's not sitting on top of the steel. It is actually bonded with the material. At least that's what it looks like. All I know for sure is that it looks killer, especially with these black 6061 aluminum handles. You've got a pearl inlay button right here. I could take or leave that, but it's kind of cool. Gives you a little something extra. I had a similar thing on I had a ProTech Strider collaboration, the SNG, and I had one with a pearl inlay button as well, but that one had a complex grind with mirrored finish on it, so it kind of worked a little more directly. This one's a little more iffy. The blue coloration is a little blingy, so it kind of works with that pearl, but you could also make the argument that the pearl is just a little too much. What would have been cool is if it was a different material, like I don't know, like a blackened pearl or something, so it was kind of there and kind of not there. But overall, I still really like it. 6061 aluminum handles, like I mentioned. You've got some texturization on the front scale here. It is closed construction. And one thing that's cool is it has 3 body screws holding this together, but it's only on the, I was going to say lock side, not really the lock side, but the non-show side. So the show side is clean, boy. Look at that. It is clean. There's no hardware other than the pivot, which is pretty standard, but it's flush, so it's not poking out there. Oh, by the way, while we're back here, we've got a steel stop pin, which you're going to need because this thing fires hard. ProTechs are known for really hard firing automatics. It's kind of their bread and butter. Uses a coil spring in here, and it rockets this thing really hard. I don't know if you can see my hand kind of shake. I can definitely feel it, but it hits that stop pin with some good force. Let's see if it is, yep, and it's even shouldered. If you can see right there, it's shouldered so that it's not hitting a flat piece on the steel on this curved stop pin. Problem with that is after enough openings, you start to actually create a divot in the back of the blade here, and it'll affect lockup and performance and action. So if you have it shoulder, that means the whole thing is coming in contact with that stop pin, and so you're not going to have that issue. So that's a really nice touch from a mechanical standpoint. On the back here, once again, everything is nice and flush. Screws are inset. You've got a very large pocket clip here. It's kind of Emerson style steel pocket clip held on with 3 screws. It's fine. It does its job. It's nothing to write home about. It would be cool if they had an upgraded version with like a milled titanium clip, right? But what isn't better with a milled titanium clip? Answer me that. Nice and centered, beautiful knife. Let's do specs last. Those are the most boring. So we're gonna do specs last. It's a good sized knife. 3.5 inch blade, just over 3.5 inches. 8.5 inches overall, roughly. Let's compare it to Spyderco paramilitary. Butted up at the back there. Little bit bigger than the paramilitary. If we compare the pivots to tip are almost identical. You get a little bit more cutting length with the Rockeye because you don't have this choil right here, but very quite comparable. Blade stock is similar as well. I think the para might be slightly thicker, but it goes to a high flat grind, so there's less material going on with this blade. Plus you've cut a big hole out of it for the Spidey hole, whereas the ProTech, the grind doesn't go up as high, and of course there's no spider hole, which is also why automatics are kind of cool. Just as a side note, there's no thumb stud, there's no disc. A lot of the times that a lot of knives, not all knives, but a lot of knives look at thumb studs and opening capabilities as kind of an afterthought, and they kind of just tack them on there, and oftentimes they're the ugliest part of the knife. But with automatics like this, don't even have to worry about it. You get a nice clean blade because you don't need any discs, holes, or thumb studs to open this thing up. Let's do some weights here. Another benefit of these sorts of knives is because of the aluminum handle construction, you get a lot of knife for the weight, 4.6 ounces. I mean, it's not a Guinness Book of World Records, but for a knife this size, for how thick this handle is and how thick that blade stock is, that's pretty impressive in my book. That's pretty light for a knife of this caliber. Actually, let's get another weight on here. I want to make sure I was actually zeroed out. Yeah, 4.6 ounces. It was giving me a 0.4 reading just sitting there, so I was like, I don't know if it worked. So 3.8 ounces. So paramilitary 2 is obviously lighter, but this Rockeye is a much stouter, beefier knife. I don't know why this became a comparison between the paramilitary 2. That was not my intention. Just kind of happened. You know, things happen when you start talking about knives. Ergonomics, fantastic. It just melts right in the hand. You've got this nice handle choil right here to keep you from sliding up on the blade. Plenty of blade length, nice belly up at the top. This thing is a workhorse. It's slicey, but not crazy slicey, right? It's still nice and strong behind that edge. So in my mind, kind of that perfect, this is what I go for. I'm leery of the super slicey blades. I get why people like them. I'm a little leery of it. I want a little bit more meat behind that edge, but I also get why people don't like some of the, the Medfords and stuff that are just so thick. You're like, how is that even going to cut anything? But yeah, really cool knife. Check it out, pvk.com. I'll put a link down below if you want to pick one of these up. Great guys. Check out their inventory. Amazing prices, and they've got a lot of stuff that other retailers don't have. But regardless, check out the Rockeye. It is an institution in the ProTech lineup. I don't think you'll be disappointed in whatever configuration you check out. All right, guys. Catch you later. Thanks for the support. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll catch you later.